Photos can be picked up third and just before the end of the ball game. Stop by and see if your favorite player's got a photo.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to a very warm Monroe, Louisiana. We are on the campus of the University of Louisiana at Monroe and are at the home of the Warhawks. The baseball squad, gorgeous stadium. It seats about 1,800. There was one day when a little team from south of here, LSU, came to town, and better than 4,000 showed up at this ballpark. It is the site today of the Final Four, the semis and the championship, which, of course, is tomorrow. Dixie Baseball's majors, Tennessee taking on South Carolina, a couple of teams that have absorbed a loss during the course of the tournament. They are here, though, on the verge of getting into the title game. It will happen tomorrow morning. But first, you got to fight through one another. Tennessee and South Carolina, McNairy County, and, of course, North Charleston. They are historically solid and show up in a semi and in a championship on a consistent basis. Tennessee decked out in the white with a little orange splashed in. You can't be from Tennessee and not have some orange mixed into the decor. South Carolina in the gray, blue, red, and some white. It is fouled off by Dustin Taylor. Taylor, the center fielder, starting things off for Tennessee. We will take a look at the starting lineup momentarily, but got to thank the folks who are making our coverage possible. The city of North Charleston, the state of Louisiana, city of Ozark, state of Alabama's Dixie Majors Baseball, state of South Carolina, Dixie Boys and Majors Baseball, Virginia's Boys and Majors Baseball, Cypress Plumbing, and Gunnersville, all making coverage possible on this Tuesday into the evening. Very warm, as I mentioned. Let's see, I haven't even pulled up the iPhone weather app to give us the exacts. It is hit towards third. Taken there on the one hopper by Ethan Struthers. Will go over to first and get Taylor for out number one. One away here in the top of the first. To me, it feels like about 110, but I'm thinking probably not. A little cooler. 90. Supposed to get to 91. Overnight low of 72. And it feels like 95. Winds out of the east-northeast at 7 miles an hour. Humidity at 42%. Outside with a pitch to Jacob Perkins. Let's get that lineup set for you for Tennessee. Dustin Taylor, the center fielder, leading things off, wrapped into the 5-3. Jacob Perkins is the catcher, batting second. He is at the plate in the count 1-0, wrapped again towards third to Struthers, and he again will go over to first, this time getting Perkins on the 5-3 putout. Two gone for Casey Colson. Jalen Northern to the on-deck circle. Shortstop Casey Colson batting in the 3 spot. Jalen Northern is the first baseman hitting fourth. The 5-hitter is third baseman Peyton Childers. Pitcher Alan Wells will fill the 6 spot. Brandon Thejinagard is the right fielder batting seventh. Carson Hopkins playing second and batting eighth. Will Clifton, left fielder, has the 9 spot. Right off the mitt at third of Struthers. Boy, he's getting some action at third. That was a hot shot, though. Won't be charged as an error, I don't think. Nope, there's a 1 underneath the H on the scoreboard. So it is a base hit for Casey Colson and a base runner on for Tennessee. 1 aboard for Jalen Northern. Going to take a quick look at that South Carolina defense. Josh Winningham on the hill, behind the plate, Hunter Sutton. The first baseman is Aaron Miller at second. You'll find Jackson White outside of the strike zone for ball 1. And shortstop, Kyle Watkins. Ethan Struthers is the third baseman. And we've talked often about Ethan. As a matter of fact, the Taylor, the Perkins, and the Colson at-bats have all been in the direction of Struthers. Got some heat there from Winningham. And the count evens up at 1 on Northern. Outfield for South Carolina in left, Gabe Austin. Center fielder is John Thielen. And Caleb Watkins in right field. The big left-hander, Josh Winningham stepping off the hill. Out of the box goes Northern. Peyton Childers moving to the on-deck circle. 1 aboard, 2 gone. Here at the home of the Warhawks. Wrapped in the direction of left field, and over to his left to make the catch is Gabe Austin. 4 go up, 3 go down. 1 base hit. Nobody scores in the top part of the inning. We head to the bottom part. Here on JockJive.com, it is the Majors World Series from Monroe, Louisiana.
Have a plumbing problem? Cypress Plumbing has your solution. We've been serving residential and commercial customers throughout Polk County for more than 25 years. Whether you need drain cleaning or leak repairs, water heater replacement, or backflow installation, our skilled plumbers can handle it all. We're experienced, professional, and best of all, we're affordable. For fast, friendly service when you need it, contact Cypress Plumbing today. 863-294-7319.
Coach Kenny Wilkinson wishes to express his sincere appreciation to the many outstanding volunteers and alumni that support the North Charleston Dixie Majors program at Collins Park. North Charleston, South Carolina has now won 6 Dixie Majors World Series titles, allowing them to own the record for the most World Series championships. The pre-majors team from North Charleston won the 2016 pre-majors World Series. North Charleston, South Carolina, title town for Dixie baseball. Good luck to our teams in the 2017 Dixie Pre-Majors and Dixie Majors World Series. Alan Wells getting his warm-up tosses in before we get to the bottom part of the first. Top part of the inning saw Taylor and Perkins wrap into the 5-3. Colson got a base hit, but stranded over at first as Northern flies out to left. 1 hit, 1 left on, no errors committed in the top part of the inning as we head to the bottom part. And Ethan Struthers, boy, we've been saying that name a lot. Had 3 shots his direction at third, and he'll be the guy that leads things off here in the bottom of the first for South Carolina. Shortstop Kyle Watkins batting in the 2 spot. Josh Winningham, the pitcher, hits third. Left fielder Gabe Austin in cleanup. Right fielder Caleb Watkins has the 5 spot. Aaron Miller is the first baseman batting 6th. The DH Wilson Beatty will bat 7th. John Thielen in center field has the 8 hole, and Hunter Sutton will catch and bat 9th. All facing Alan Wells. A couple of lefties. South Carolina putting Winningham on the hill, and Tennessee putting Wells aboard. Fouled out of play by Struthers, 0-1. Alan Wells on the hill. Behind the plate, Jacob Perkins. The first baseman is Jalen Northern. And second, Carson Hopkins. Shortstop belongs to Casey Colson. Peyton Childers is at third. In the outfield, Will Clifton in left. Center field belongs to Dustin Taylor. And Brandon DeGenegard is in right field. High with a pitch, and the count will go even at 1. Our apologies, by the way. The intent was to give you a center field look as well, that pitcher to hitter look. And from about 10:30 until 3:30, that was the focus of attention. Why in the world the electronics, the stuff that typically allows us to be able to bring that shot to you, why it's not cooperating? We're going to talk again between games and after games and tomorrow morning too, if necessary, but definitely want to be able to get you something, so we're popping it from behind the plate as Peyton Childers, or make that Alan Wells, delivers, and it's a walk, but Struthers saw that it got away from catcher Jacob Perkins and alertly goes to second. So Struthers with a walk, but a very unusual one. It's not that often that you see a guy walk and then wind up at second. But that is where Struthers is, as Kyle Watkins steps in and swings and misses. Josh Winningham moving to the on-deck circle. I mentioned it's a warm day here in Monroe, Louisiana. Hopefully precip will hold off. There is a threat of rain, as this one again gets away from catcher Perkins, and It didn't take Struthers long to come in and score. Takes third on a pitch to Watkins and then home on the wild pitch. And South Carolina taking the 1-0 advantage here in the bottom part of inning number 1. As the bases go clear, and Kyle Watkins with the count even at 1, stepping into the batter's box. Well, I did not see my vantage point here, a little bit blocked of home plate. I'm going to maybe try to sit up or move up. And I'm not sure if our plate umpire got popped or if this is a conversation to discuss something that transpired on the diamond. But the 3 gentlemen wearing blue are in the midst of a conference right there out in front of the hill. Currently a 1-0 advantage. It belongs to South Carolina. And Kyle Watkins batting. Well, this conversation has gotten rather lengthy, which would lead me to believe it is not necessarily a stinger that got blue behind the plate, but that maybe something transpired on the field that the officials at least wanted to be able to sort out. Tennessee coach out to talk with the umpire. And we'll see if he walks away happy or sad. That might be an indicator as to, well, at least who a potential call can go against. Dixie Boys baseball has a rich history dating back to 1957 of providing youth baseball. The incorporators of the program were all members of the Alexandria, Louisiana Youth Baseball Association. The primary goal of providing all youth the opportunity to play in local programs remains the same. Dixie Baseball offers Dixie Boys baseball ages 13 to 14 and an older program called Dixie Majors. And that's what we're at, the Majors World Series for 15 to 19 years of age. If you are interested in learning more about the programs, visit dixie.org/boys. Well, they're now calling for Ronnie Jackson. So the Tennessee coach goes and converses with the plate umpire, and now the Tennessee coach will chat with one of the Dixie baseball officials, Ronnie Jackson. We're not far into the game. I mean, we're, 12 minutes into the stream, and we're in the bottom part of the first, and it's already gotten interesting. Well, the run will plate. Struthers comes in and scores. Kyle Watkins back into the box. Lengthy time between pitches. There's a big cut coming up empty as Watkins. Almost enough time between pitches that you might consider asking for a warm-up toss for Alan Wells. It must have been 7 minutes in between pitches. Popped high into the air. Drifting into foul territory. Jalen Northern will step in front of the North Charleston dugout to register the out with the catch of the fly ball by Watkins. 1 out for Josh Winningham. By the way, you see a number on your screen there above the scoreboard. That is for shout-outs, which we will get into. I think we'll open up the shout-out lines in a second. Give you an opportunity to tell us where you're watching from and cheer on some of these majors. Winningham thought about it, laid off the pitch, drops into the strike zone. Elimination game. One of these two teams will move on and still be in pursuit of the title. The other will wrap up their series and season. Fouled off, 0-2 on Winningham. Gabe Austin to the on-deck circle. A spacious park. And great view from the back porch. On Facebook, I posted a picture of the, I would assume, relatively new ULM Stadium. So that's what we see when you walk out, not the back door, but when you walk out the door and down the hall. Still 0-2 on Winningham. Swing and a miss. Winningham out number 2. And Alan Wells will register his first K of the contest. 2 away for Gabe Austin. Dixie Baseball also has their World Series in Guntersville today. Mike Flowers and Chuck Sebastian are there providing the coverage. Mike with the play-by-play and Chuck trying to keep things straight in what I understand is a warm Guntersville as well. But, hey, what do you expect? It's July and August. We're here in the Deep South. Outside to Austin, 1-0. High with a pitch for ball 2. I mentioned Facebook, by the way. We are trying to get to 10,000 likes by the end of the summer. For us, the end of the summer is a week from Saturday. Popped high into the air. That will sail over into foul territory. Looks like there is room, but not able to make the catch was Peyton Childers. He didn't know how much room he had gotten onto the warning track, and the warning track is just that. It's a warning that you are running out of room. And when he got to the track, tried to reach over and make the catch, could not, and the at-bat for Gabe Austin will continue. 2-1 on Austin. Caleb Watkins next. But again, we're trying to get to 10,000 likes. Haven't checked lately, but I think we're about 400 or maybe 3-something away from 10. So if you have never liked us before, we need you to like us now. Go to Facebook, put JockJive Sports in the search engine. JockJive Sports. High with a pitch, a walk issue to Austin. And South Carolina gets a base runner aboard here in the bottom of the first. Caleb Watkins coming to the plate. Of course, it's not just about getting big numbers, by the way, that 10,000 likes, that's nice. We like it. But it's also about getting you scores, schedules, and so much more if there are weather delays. As that's a strike on the inside part of the plate to Watkins. Caleb Watkins, followed by Aaron Miller. There is a threat of rain overnight and into the early part of tomorrow. Shot into left field, base hit. And Caleb Watkins gets Austin over to second. That is the first base hit of the game for South Carolina. Of course, Tennessee with a base hit of their own in the top part of the first. Couple of base runners on for Aaron Miller. The DH, Wilson Beatty, moves to the on-deck circle. So when you like us on Facebook, our numbers grow, and then you get info. It's kind of like a special club, a privileged club. As this is high into the air, there's a lot of room behind the backstop. And was there room enough to make the catch? There was. Jacob Perkins able to get back right in front of the screen, make the catch, and put the end to the Aaron Miller at bat. A couple of base runners left on. One comes in and scores. South Carolina taking a 1-0 advantage into the top of the second.
Ozark, a quaint southern town in southeast Alabama, home of Fort Rucker, the world's largest helicopter training facility, and the Army Aviation Museum. While you're in Ozark, enjoy unique shopping and dining. Visit our beautifully manicured downtown square, home of Claybank Jamboree and the Ozark Crawdad and Music Festival. Relax at Ed Lisenby Lake with its excellent fishing and 3-mile walking and birding trail. But no baseball enthusiast can leave Ozark without visiting historic Eagle Stadium, built in 1946. Come enjoy Ozark.
Louisiana Dixie Majors Baseball proud to support this broadcast. Jason Parker, Louisiana State Director, along with the Louisiana Dixie Majors Board of Directors, congratulates all of the teams in World Series play. We are glad that we could help support the live broadcast of the Final Four. 2017, Louisiana Pre-Majors teams Monroe and Jefferson Parish, and major state champions from Vidalia, along with the host Monroe team, are great representatives for our state program. World Series tournament play is an exciting time for everyone. Had an opportunity to meet Jason, as a matter of fact, prior to the game. Probably an unusual introduction for Jason. I was seated on the ground working on some cable, and he came up. Ronnie Jackson brought him over, and he said, no, stay put, you're working. but certainly a nice opportunity to be able to meet the guy who's in charge of Louisiana. Foul out of play by Peyton Childers. As we get the top of the second underway, Alan Wells, Brandon DeGenegard coming to the plate too. Well, I see that some have already exercised their, I don't know if it would be a privilege, benefit, wrapped right at the first baseman. Aaron Miller makes the catch, and Peyton Childers out number one. One gone for Alan Wells. The number's on your screen, 334-488-1385. It's the second inning, so let's take some shout-outs. You probably know how the process works, right? If not, here's what we're looking for. A shout-out to a team or a team member. Where you're watching from. Love to get an idea of the geographical region we are covering as the strike is put across the plate on the outside part to Alan Wells. Brandon DeGenegard on deck. Just a little bit inside, and the count will even up at 1. But, you know, cheer, words of encouragement, that kind of stuff. Let us know where you're watching from. And then if you've got something unique, bunting towards third, Struthers will field quickly, fire over. Trying to dig it out was the first baseman, Aaron Miller, and that will pop out of the mid. Let's see what they do official scorekeeping-wise on that one. I'm leaning towards an E, and that's where the mark is registered on the board. I would say that is an E5, a little low on the throw by Struthers, and a base runner on for Tennessee. Tying run aboard here in the top part of the second for Brandon DeGenegard. Carson Hopkins on deck. Again in foul territory, chasing it back to the screen is Hunter Sutton. It goes out of play, and DeGenegard will get another opportunity now with the count at 1-1. So you got all the info, right, for the shout-outs? Root somebody on. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching from a unique spot. Of course, these days with the mobile devices, unique can be not so unique anymore. I mean, used to, you had to be in the living room or the kitchen or wherever the TV's set. Not so much so now. If you want to include that too. And if there's selfies you want to send, we'll get them on Facebook a little bit later on. Get creative with the selfies, though. 0-2 on DeGenegard. Again in foul territory. Let's see if this one is retrievable. It is. Strother is able to get to it. And Wells will stay at first. 2 gone. Carson Hopkins coming to the plate. Three 488-1385. One request, though, do text. Love to be able to talk to you, but got this stuff going on. Got to call it a little baseball. So text is the best medium to get your message to us. Carson Hopkins, a swing and a miss. 0-1. Watching from Selmer, Tennessee, McNairy County. This is Diffie. Let's go Tennessee. My boys C-Hop Perkins and Brandon DeGenegard. Is that the correct way to pronounce? By the way, please, when I mispronounce, straighten me out. DeGenegard? Need him to make something happen, and you probably need me to correctly pronounce his name. So if that's not correct, let me know. Hopkins batting, 2 gone. Wells, the base runner at first, got their compliments of an error. Will Clifton moves to the on-deck circle. More shout-outs coming in. Josh Winningham from South Carolina. Haley Foster watching the game live from Charleston, South Carolina. Shout me out. We'll do it. Girlfriend of North Charleston's pitcher Josh Winningham. So consider yourself shouted out. DeGenegard. That's right, apparently. I got all the good emojis. So thank you very much. Hopkins, 1 ball, couple of strikes. Holds up in a toss that's a little too tall, and the count will leave it in 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone. Base runner at first in a 1-0 ball game contest. Watching from Monk's Corner in South Carolina for my bro Josh Winningham. Lifted into right field, and that will hit the gap and roll, trying to track it down, but unable to do so until he gets to the warning track. Is Caleb Watkins. Putting on the brakes at third is Wells. Carson Hopkins with a double. And Tennessee with a couple of base runners in scoring position for Will Clifton. And Tennessee asking their 9-hitter to not only tie the game, but to give Tennessee the lead here in the top part of the second. 334-488-1385 to send shout-outs. Will Clifton followed by Dustin Taylor. We're back to the Tennessee top of the order. Big cut, no contact. First strike on Will Clifton. Bottom third of the order, 2 up when you get to the South Carolina second. Beatty, Thielen, and Sutton all coming to the plate. Here's the 0-1 offering. Hit right back to Winningham. Over to first, and the 2 base runners that get on stay on. 1.5 in, it's a 1-0 advantage. It belongs to South Carolina as we head to the bottom of the second. Beatty, Thielen, and Sutton. 60 seconds from now. Alabama-Dixie Majors Baseball proud to support this broadcast. Keith Robinson, Alabama State Director, along with the Alabama Board of Directors, congratulates all of the teams in World Series play. We are glad that we could help support the live broadcast of the Final Four. 2017 Alabama State champions for pre-majors and Dixie Majors are both from Ozark. They are great representatives for our state program. Tennessee gets a couple of base runners on. Wells reached on a Struthers error, and then Carson doubles, but both are left aboard as Clifton wraps into the 1-3. It is a 1-0 North Charleston lead over McNairy County. South Carolina and Tennessee battling it out for the right to get to the championship game. Well, let's get to more shout-outs. This one says, shout-out to McGranny. All right. That's it. I mean, we didn't have any additional information. Not sure where Granny is or who Granny is, but Granny, somebody loves you and wants to send a shout-out to you. Wind-up delivery, fouled out of play by Wilson Beatty as we get the bottom of the second underway. Watching online from South Carolina, Hunter Sutton from North Charleston is my son. Go Chucktown. My wife and other kids are at the game. Oh, we're glad they could make the game. Wish you could, but since you can't, great to have you watching here on this Tuesday in Monroe. Outside with a pitch to even the count at 1 on Wilson Beatty. John Thielen, Hunter Sutton due up in the inning 2. Shout out to the Citadel Bulldogs playing for North Charleston from the Summerville Journal-Scene in South Carolina. Well, thank you very much, Summerville Journal-Scene, for the shout out. By the way, it reminds me, if you are at work and they'll let you watch at work and you want to give the workplace a little free pub, we'll do that for you. Another pitch inside, 3-1. Shout out to Heston Foster. He's going to the NBA. And listen, I don't write him, I just read him. Outside with the pitch. And a walk issued to Beatty. That is the third Allen Wells walk. And the leadoff batter aboard for South Carolina. John Thielen coming to the plate. Lefty versus lefty, the left-handed Thielen, the left-handed Wells. Here in the bottom part of inning number 2. Game slated for 7. Wrapped into left field. That is a base hit. One hops into the mid of Will Clifton, but Beatty will go to second, and Thielen, with the second South Carolina base hit, is at first. So a base runner at first and second for the 9-hitter Hunter Sutton. Top of the order, moves to the on-deck circle, Ethan Struthers. Fouled off as Sutton, the 9-hitter, tries to sacrifice Beatty and Thielen over. Are you aware that Dixie Boys Baseball is a non-profit organization and has an alumni program? Membership is open to anyone that shares the desire to further the mission of the organization. Former players, coaches, league officials, parents, sponsors, and others are encouraged to become involved in the worthwhile effort. A nominal tax-deductible fee is collected as part of the alumni membership. As it is bunted to Wells, goes to third, and will get the lead runner. That wasn't part of the South Carolina plan, as Wells is able to get Beatty on a 1-5 putout for out number 1. Still a couple of base runners aboard, but with one away now as we go back to the top of the order. Membership applications can be obtained by contacting any member of the Dixie Boys Board of Directors. Ethan Struthers represents the lone run scored thus far in the game. Walk, stole second. Actually, on the walk, I wonder if you score that as a steal, but on the walk, he got second as the pitch got away from Jacob Perkins, and Struthers wound up at second, then stole third, came in on a wild pitch. It was a wild pitch that brought the Tennessee coach out of the dugout. Stolen base, by the way, for Thielen. Runners on the corners. Struthers, followed by Kyle Watkins. Reagan from Charleston, South Carolina. Shout out to my best friend Joshie Poo, Winningham. Swing, a miss, throw goes down to third. Back safely goes Thielen. Sutton bouncing off the bag over at first, but will stay put there too. Runners on the corners, one away. Struthers with a 1-2 count. Watkins to follow. South Carolina trying to add to the lead. Tennessee trying to keep that run advantage at 1. Lifted into foul territory and out of play. Gorgeous complex here, by the way. I mentioned the football stadium behind us. You can see that on Facebook. In front of me is the softball field just across the way. And the old football stadium, which is to the backside and left field area, that's where they are putting in a new track and field. It is wrapped into center field, and Ethan Struthers has contributed on both runs scored for South Carolina. He scores the first one and drives in the second one as Thielen comes in from third. So Struthers with an RBI single, and South Carolina now with a 2-zip lead. Still one away for Kyle Watkins. Watkins 0 for 1. He popped out to first. Josh Winningham is on deck. Fouled back by Watkins. When you get to the Tennessee third, it's the top of the order coming to the plate. Taylor, Perkins, and Colson, the 1, 2, and 3 hitters due up. Here's the 0-1 offering. It is hit towards short. Colson steps on the bag to get the out at second, over to first to turn the double play. So the DP, indeed, Alan Wells' best friend. It puts an end to the bottom of the second, but South Carolina will plate another run. Now leads it 2-zip as we head to the Tennessee third here on JockJive.com.
frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back. Her 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
South Carolina Dixie Boys Majors Baseball proud to support the broadcast. Rick Lacey, South Carolina State Director, Shannon Loper, Assistant State Director, along with the entire South Carolina Board of Directors, wishes all of the teams the best in the World Series play. We are glad that we can help support the live broadcast. The Final Four of the World Series in Monroe and Guntersville, and congratulate the teams participating. They will play in the Junior Boys and Dixie Boys World Series event being held in Bluffton, South Carolina, August 5 through 9. Best wishes in the World Series. Back to the top of the order in the top of the third, Dustin Taylor, who hit into a 5-3, starting things off. Late swing on the Winningham pitch. 0-1. Another swing and a miss quickly, 0-2. Interesting story. Meade, Perkins, and Hopkins play for Tennessee, or at least did so in the Dixie Youth World Series in Carthage, North Carolina, when we were 11 and 12 years of age. Good times and great memories. I'm trying to think if we did that World Series 5 years ago. Very possible that we were broadcasting then. So great memories, and thanks for the shout-out. Well, the scoreboard says 0-3, but I don't think that's the pitch count. It's hit over towards third in foul territory. Don't think they've changed the rules that much in Dixie baseball. 0-2 count on Dustin Taylor. Jacob Perkins, Casey Colson due up in the inning too. Right-hander back into the box, taps the stick on the dish and gets ready for the left-hander's toss. Swing and a miss, and out goes the leadoff guy, Dustin Taylor, here in the third. One away for Jacob Perkins. Virginia Dixie Majors proud to support the broadcast. Ronnie Adams, Virginia State Director, along with the Virginia Board of Directors, congratulates all of the teams in World Series play. We are glad that we can help support the live broadcast of the Final Four. 2017 Virginia State champs from Madison Heights and Goochland are great reps for our state program. Outstanding volunteer leadership has made this all possible. World Series tournament play, an exciting time for everybody. Count even, one apiece. Jacob Perkins wrapped into the 5-3 in the first. One away, nobody on in the Tennessee third. Of course, there is more baseball ahead. Got the nightcap, Monroe and Brooksville. Monroe, the only unbeaten team in the Majors World Series, taking on Brooksville. If Brooksville wins, then we know we've got 2 games tomorrow. If Monroe wins, we might have 1. Out of the strike zone to fill up the count. 3-2 on Jacob Perkins. Casey Colson waiting for his opportunity next. Winningham with the delivery, and he gets him. Thought for a minute he might have fouled off the pitch, but instead strikes him out. Second K in a row, and the second K of the contest for Winningham. 2 gone in the third for Casey Colson. Colson with a single in the first has one of the two Tennessee base hits. The other was a Carson Hopkins double. Tennessee's had base runners every inning. Had Colson on in the first, had Wells and Hopkins on in the second. Winningham working on a 1-2-3 inning, but Casey Colson trying to stop that here in the third. Speaking of Winningham, he, Austin, and Watkins come to the plate when we get to the bottom of the third. Wrapped foul to the left side. Well, that's why you've got a protector for Tennessee, for the guys in the pen, for shots just like that. Ball rolls down into the corner, and that's why we are waiting so it can be retrieved off the field and we can get back to the action. Colson singled in the first. 1-2 count. Wrapped over towards second. White's got it. Pumps and fires. Gets Colson on the 4-3. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the third. We head to the bottom part of the inning. South Carolina with a 2-zip advantage. Winningham, Austin, and Watkins all coming to the plate when we return to Monroe, Louisiana.
Have a plumbing problem? Cypress Plumbing has your solution. We've been serving residential and commercial customers throughout Polk County for more than 25 years. Whether you need drain cleaning or leak repairs, water heater replacement, or backflow installation, our skilled plumbers can handle it all. We're experienced, professional, and best of all, we're affordable. For fast, friendly service when you need it, contact Cypress Plumbing today. 863-294-7319.
Coach Kenny Wilkinson wishes to express his sincere appreciation to the many outstanding volunteers and alumni that support the North Charleston Dixie Majors baseball program and also Collins Park. North Charleston, South Carolina has won 6 Dixie Majors World Series titles, allowing them to own the record for the most World Series championships. The pre-majors team from North Charleston won the 2016 Pre-Majors World Series. North Charleston, South Carolina, title town for Dixie baseball. Good luck to our teams in the 2017 Dixie Pre-Majors and Dixie Majors World Series. Alan Wells getting his warm-up tosses in. May feel a little pressure. There's been activity in the Tennessee pen, and that activity is apparently ready to come in when called upon. Josh Winningham starting off the bottom of the third. Well, if the game is going to wrap up before 7, then somebody's got to have a really big lead. 15 after 3, 12 after 4, 10 after 5. Right now, it looks like this one may go the distance. At least that's the early look. Here's the toss to Winningham. Outside for ball 1. Shout out to the Monroe baseball team tonight from Will Anders from Monroe. Hashtag Talons out. Foul out of play to even the count at 1. Text says, drop a tank for you, Josh Winningham. Hashtag Titletown from Tally. Outside of the strike zone, 2-1 on Winningham. Well, we just got through with Dixie Youth Machine Pitch and Coach Pitch World Series action in Cleveland, Mississippi. Wrapped up this morning. Got Gunnersville and Monroe pre-majors and majors covered today and tomorrow. Then Saturday, it's back to Dixie Youth World Series play and some Babe Ruth play as well. And then a summer of youth sports wraps up. And we get into all the stuff that we typically do during the course of a fall, spring, and winter. 3-2 offering. It is back this direction, and it stays full on Winningham. End of the month, Georgia Military College football gets underway. The ACCC game of the week. Great American rivalries. We started off in Bluefield, West Virginia. Bluefield-Graham game hit towards short. Colson's got it, whips it over to first, gets Winningham on the 6-3 putout. One away for Gabe Austin. Caleb Watkins to the on-deck circle. Also during the fall, SWAC, football, volleyball, and soccer. I don't think who else we were working with. GCAA. High fly ball towards shallow center field. It's a good thing that second baseman Carson Hopkins knew where it was, because I don't think Dustin Taylor picked it up immediately coming off the stick of Austin. He broke late, but able to get there was Hopkins for the out, 2 away. Two gone for Caleb Watkins. Monroe and Brooksville to follow, slated for a 7 o'clock start, I believe. So we got a 3-hour window to get this game in. Right now it's 46 minutes in and into the bottom part of the inning. Wrapped towards left, but in foul territory. More shout-outs coming in. This one from Stevie Slaughter, your daughter DeFrank in Ridgeville, South Carolina. Good to hear from Ridgeville. 0-2 pitch to Watkins. Hit towards center field. Taylor's there, goes to his knees to make the catch. And Tennessee matches defensively the South Carolina effort in the top part of the inning. 3 go up, 3 go down in the top part. 3 go up and 3 go down in the bottom part. We have played 3. It's a 2-zip South Carolina lead as we head to the Tennessee 4th.
Ozark, a quaint southern town in southeast Alabama, home of Fort Rucker, the world's largest helicopter training facility, and the Army Aviation Museum. While you're in Ozark, enjoy unique shopping and dining. Visit our beautifully manicured downtown square, home of Claybank Jamboree and the Ozark Crawdad and Music Festival. Relax at Ed Lisenby Lake with its excellent fishing and 3-mile walking and birding trail. But no baseball enthusiast can leave Ozark without visiting historic Eagles Stadium, built in 1946. Come enjoy Ozark.
Dixie Majors Baseball of Louisiana wishes our teams from Louisiana the best in World Series play, being held in Guntersville and Monroe. The state of Louisiana has won 7 Dixie Majors titles since play began in '74, while also capturing 5 titles in pre-majors since '79. Congratulations to our Louisiana State Championship teams, coaches, and league officials. We congratulate all of our pre-majors and majors World Series teams. Hope that you'll win another title for Louisiana. Jason Parker is the state director, with Mike Stream serving as assistant state director. Louisiana very blessed to have 2 outstanding regional directors in Larry Cardaranella. Okay, if I went quicker, it probably would sound like I know what I'm talking about. Cardaranella. And Rick Berry, also great assistants, is Laurie Parker, State Secretary, and Carlis Armstrong, the State Umpire-in-Chief. Working together as a team allows the Louisiana Dixie Majors program to be a true success story. Top of the 4th, Jalen Northern, who popped out to left field, starting things off. One out of the strike zone and the other fouled out of play. Count even at 1. Peyton Childers, as well as Alan Wells, due up in the inning, too. Two and 1 on Northern. Tennessee has had 4 in a row set down by Winningham. Hopkins got the double, and since then Clifton, Taylor, Perkins, and Colson has gone down. Fouled out of play to even the count at 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff batter in the 4th in a 2-zip contest. Here's the windup and delivery from Winningham. It is a high chopper towards short and then skips underneath the mitt of shortstop Kyle Watkins. That will be charged as an error. It's the second one on South Carolina. So the North Charleston miscue has got a base runner on for Tennessee. And Peyton Childers, who popped out to first, will come to the plate here in the 4th. Alan Wells is also a gentleman who benefited from a South Carolina mistake, and he has moved to the on-deck circle. Northern diving back in safely over at first. Bunted down the first base line and had to be coaxed into foul territory, but looked like Hunter Sutton was willing to do so if that's what it took to get that ball on the foul side of the chalk line. So Peyton Childers will come back to the box, pick up the stick, and wait for another pitch. Willingham, the left-hander, looking directly at Northern over at first. Fouled out of play, and the count 0-2. By the way, Tiffany, just saw your message about will we be broadcasting the Majors game between Tennessee and South Carolina today at 4? Yeah, and my apologies for just seeing your message, but hope you have been able to watch. Chopped right back to Winningham. Winningham double pumps to get the lead runner. Double play not turned, and Winningham double pump because he was waiting for somebody to get over to second to cover. You had both Watkins and White headed that direction, and finally Willingham is able to get a fielder on second, throws and gets the lead runner on the 1-4 putout. 1 away, Childers now at first. Alan Wells stepping into the box with Brandon Degnegard coming to the plate into left field. And there is an Alan Wells base hit. Third hit of the game for Tennessee, and a couple of base runners on. Tying run aboard for the Tennessee squad with 1 out. The directors of Dixie Boys Baseball elected by the leagues to govern the program. Leagues that comprise the Dixie organization are represented by the board of directors as well as elected executive board members. Dedicated volunteer service has been provided since the inception of the program. A complete listing of all Dixie officials is available in the rule book and online. Dixie Boys Baseball appreciates the commitment made by everyone in service to our youth. Into the strike zone to Degnegard. Carson Hopkins on deck. Willingham with a couple of base runners aboard. Steps off the hill and will step back on as out of the box went Degnegard. Now he is back in. Outside of the zone again. One ball, 1 strike on Degnegard. Too far outside, 3-1. Carson Hopkins moving to the on-deck circle. Wells on. Also Childers at first and second here in the top of the 4th. Able to get back safely at second is Childers. Josh Winningham's fan club, the Fosters, watching him pitch from Summerville, South Carolina. Special shout out to his girlfriend, Haley Foster, who says, great pitching for North Charleston, rather, in foul territory. for Degnagard, and the count will even up at 2. I've had some interesting shout-outs during the course of a game, and this game has been no exception. I think I'll read this one. Sometimes I admittedly skip over them. Swing and a miss. Out goes Degnagard, and there's 2 gone in the 4th. And it's K number 3 for Josh Winningham. Two gone, and if Tennessee is going to plate runs in the 4th, then Carson Hopkins will have to have something to do with it. Well, here's the shout-out. Anyone watching from the Selmer area that are looking to stop smoking cigarettes, stop in to Juice Vapors at 861 Mulberry Avenue. We'll get you off those stinky sticks. All right, thank you very much. That's getting a plug in for the business and doing so in a most unusual way. Count even 1 apiece on Hopkins. Will Clifton is on deck. Tennessee scoreless 1 through 3, but hoping that scoreless is not the case for the 4th. Shout out from Big Daddy Rose from Summerville, South Carolina. Fastball comes in low, inside as well. So the shout-outs continuing to trickle in. 334-488-1385. Well, you can look at the body language of Hopkins, and it looked like Hopkins initially says, I'm going to swing. Then he says, maybe not. Then decides to, fouls it off. Even at 2 is the count. And you got your deuces wild. 2-0 game, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 on. Asking for time as Hopkins steps out of the box, takes a few steps over towards the dugout at 3rd. Takes a deep breath and then steps back into the box. Lefty Willingham giving both base runners a glance. Childers and Wells. It is wrapped foul over towards 3rd. Out of play. Hopkins a double in the 2nd. 1 of 3 Tennessee base hits. Winningham high with the pitch, and the count will run full. And Winningham 1 pitch outside of the strike zone away from loading things up for Tennessee and sending the 9-hitter to the plate, Will Clifton. Here is the 3-2 offering to Hopkins. Meanwhile, Watkins playing a little cat and mouse with Childers there at 2nd. And Winningham will step off the bag, or at least off the mound, and then back on. Payoff pitch. Hit to center field and hit right at John Thielen. Couple of base runners left on. 5 have now been stranded for Tennessee. It's still a 2-zip score as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Miller, Beatty, and Thielen all coming up for South Carolina. Dixie Majors Baseball of Alabama wishes our teams the best in World Series play being held in Guntersville and Monroe. The state of Alabama has won 10 Dixie Majors titles since World Series play began in '74, while also capturing 8 titles in pre-majors. Congratulations to our state championship teams, coaches, and league officials. We congratulate our state champions from Ozark. Won another title for Alabama. Keith Robinson is the state director with Jack Stokes and Charles Alexander, assistant state directors. Billy Heron serves as state treasurer, and the state is supported by outstanding district directors. Aaron Miller starting off the bottom of the 4th, a 2-zip North Charleston lead over McNairy County, Tennessee. Pitch a little bit tall. 1-0 to Miller, who popped out behind the plate in the first. He is 0 for 1. Wilson Beatty, John Thielen due up in the inning, too. Low and away with a pitch to Miller. Well, Tennessee got some base runners on. As a matter of fact, they have stranded 5. And 2 of the 5 stranded in the 4th. Northern reached on an error. Childers hit into the 1-4. Wells singled. Dagnigard strikes out, and Hopkins flies out. That's the Tennessee 4th. Swing and a miss. Big cut there from Miller to even the count in 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here in the bottom of the 4th. Outside with the pitch. And the count will run full. You know, I mentioned Facebook. Trying to get to 10,000 likes. Forgot to mention Twitter. And subscribe to our YouTube channel as it's popped high into the air. And now we'll drift over into foul territory, and that's where the catch will be made by Casey Colson. That's how you communicate with one another. You could see the body language of Childers at third, both he and Colson going for it, but Colson called him off. Childers complies, and Miller is out number 1. 1 away for Wilson Beatty, the DH. John Thielen moves to the on-deck circle. Too far inside for ball 1. Well, I heard one of the fans on the field might call him Beatty rather than Beatty. I was just going off the, who's the actor? Something Beatty. I'm old and forgetful now. Popped out to right field by Wilson Beatty for out number 2. I want to say Warren Beatty, but I don't know if that's right. But they both spell their name Beattie, I think. Heck, I don't even know that for sure. Maybe I should have just skipped this topic altogether and said, well, I heard a fan in the stands call Wilson Beatty, not Beatty, so let's switch. That's what I get for trying to justify. John Thielen singled, stole a base, scored a run in the 2nd. Hunter Sutton moves to the on-deck circle. 2 gone, nobody aboard. We're in the 4th for South Carolina. Tennessee in the 5th will send their 9, 1, and 2 hitters to the plate. Left-hander back in, left-hander delivers. Fouled off by Thielen. Are you aware of the scholarship program available to participants in Dixie Boys and Majors baseball? Scholarships awarded each year to former players in Dixie Boys and Majors. All a graduate has to do is make an application. It's easy. While a senior in high school to be considered as one of the Bernie Varnador Scholarship Awards. We encourage all who have played in the program to think about this wonderful opportunity. Over 250 scholarships have been presented since the program was created in '84. Swing and a miss by Thielen. And for the 2nd consecutive inning, Alan Wells retires South Carolina in order. 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 4th. We have played 4. It is South Carolina with a 2-zip lead over Tennessee as we head to the Tennessee 5th in the bottom of the order here on JockJive.com. Just about all white, Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. The South Carolina Board of Directors last year helped celebrate with Dixie Boys Baseball the 60th anniversary of the Dixie Boys Baseball organization. We appreciate the volunteer leadership that has made this program a big success. Providing youth with the opportunity to play the great game of baseball is a worthwhile mission. A few more shout-outs. This one says, good luck to our North Charleston team, and a special shout-out and all my love to manager Kenny Wilkinson, our grandson and teammate Champ Barden. Love, Patrice, a.k.a. Mom. Another shout-out simply says, Team Florida is going to win it all. Uh-oh, that may have started something. Okay, Warren Beatty does not spell his name like Wilson Beatty does. But it's the part, you know, that, well, I said I wouldn't use Beatty to justify Beatty. So thank you very much for the info on Warren Beatty, who I think is still alive. Don't see him in movies very often. Great movie back in the, was it the 70s? Heaven Can Wait? That's what I remember him from. 1-0 pitch. High to Clifton. Yeah, a lot of the guys that are, and ladies watching currently, I'm sure, are like, Heaven Can Wait. I've never even heard of the movie. It was a few years ago. Wrapped foul over to the left side. Will Clifton starting off the fifth for Tennessee. Let's take a look at your through four numbers. For South Carolina, 3 hits, 2 errors, 3 left on. For Tennessee, 3 hits, no errors, and 5 left on. But where you want the bigger numbers, South Carolina's got it, 2-zip. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Will Clifton. Hit to Struthers. Nice stop on the backhand. Hops up, throws errantly over to first. And that means extra bases for Will Clifton. He will pull into second. And then the throw over the head of Clifton into left. But this time, Clifton stays put. And that, you got to believe, is going to be an error. I thought that maybe you would credit a base hit on the deep shot to third, but the throw was definitely an error. And it looks like there's no hit included, so it is all E. E5, that's got Clifton at second. Tennessee with a base runner in scoring position as we go back to the top of the order. Dustin Taylor, who is 0 for 2. He's ground out to third and struck out. Comes to the plate, Jacob Perkins. He will follow. Taylor hit into the 5-3. Taylor struck out. Over towards third. Struthers will retrieve in foul territory. That error that got Clifton on is the third North Charleston error of the game. Uncharacteristically committing mistakes on the infield. And that one almost got away from Watkins. Low scoring contest, 2-zip ball game here in the top part of the fifth. And a rather fast paced game. I have been in baseball games that you're an hour 9 in and you're in the top of the third. As a matter of fact, I want to think I did a game in the World Series in Oklahoma this year that we were in the bottom of the second when we hit an hour 10. And here we are 70 minutes in and in the top of the fifth. Outside again. Listening from Charleston, South Carolina, supporting the team, supporting our Citadel Bulldog players, Hunter, Barbie, Gunner, Finneth, Seth, and John Thielen win Big SC. Wrapped into left field. And a Dustin Taylor base hit has Tennessee runners at first and third. That is the fourth Tennessee hit of the game. Still nobody out, and Jacob Perkins coming to the plate. Right-hander steps in. He has ground out. He has struck out. 0 for 2 is Jacob Perkins. And Tennessee threatening again. And I know South Carolina wondering how many times can you dodge a bullet. Tennessee had runners at second and third in the second. Had runners at first and second in the fourth. Now have runners at first and third in the fifth. Fouled off towards third. And that might have got a piece of Perkins. So Perkins, yeah, I'm judging by the grimace that one nipped Perkins, or maybe more than nipped, before sailing foul over towards third. Shout out says it's clutch time. Come on, Perk Daddy. 0-2 offering. Hit towards left and right at Gabe Austin. Reaches up, fires towards home. It is cut off by Struthers. And Tennessee has played in their first run of the game on the Jacob Perkins sacrifice fly to left. Perkins picking up the RBI. Clifton comes in to score. Staying put at first is Taylor. And it's a 2-1 game for Casey Colson. Colson has singled and ground out to second. Jalen Northern moving to the on-deck circle. Right down the middle goes Winningham. Winningham has struck out 3. He's fanned Taylor, Perkins, and Degnegar. Wells, on the other hand, has struck out 2. Winningham and Thielen. Another one into the strike zone to Colson. Colson with a single and a ground out to second. 1 for 2 in the game. Jalen Northern is on deck. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Wrapped towards left field, and a shoestring grab in left by Austin. Nice job by Austin to make the catch. If he does not, might be extra bases for Colson. There was a lot of green grass behind him, but instead the catch made, and out number 2 is Colson. Taylor stays at first. Jalen Northern to the plate. The right-hander has popped out to left. He has reached on an error. High with the pitch from Winningham. Brooksville and Monroe coming up. Lone remaining team that is unbeaten, Monroe. Northern hits it over to White, takes it on the 2-hopper at second, goes to first with a throw, has Northern on the 4-3 putout. 5 go up, 3 go down, 1 left on, but 1 comes in and scores on the sac fly by Perkins. And Tennessee will cut the lead in half as we head to the bottom of the 5th and to the bottom of the order for South Carolina.
Have a plumbing problem? Cypress Plumbing has your solution. We've been serving residential and commercial customers throughout Polk County for more than 25 years. Whether you need drain cleaning or leak repairs, water heater replacement, or backflow installation, our skilled plumbers can handle it all. We're experienced, professional, and best of all, we're affordable. For fast, friendly service when you need it, contact Cypress Plumbing today. 863-294-7319.
Dixie Majors Baseball in Virginia wishes our teams from Virginia the best in World Series play being held in Monroe and Ozark. Congratulations to our Virginia State champ teams. Coaches and league officials, we congratulate our state champions. Ronnie Adams, Major State Director, and Ken Nelson, Boys State Director, are supported by a great group of district directors. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Hunter Sutton starting things off. Alan Wells, who got off to maybe not a rocky start, but it was rocky enough that there was activity in the pen for Tennessee. But when Alan Wells saw that activity over in the pen, said, I don't want to come out of the game. And he has pitched pretty doggone well over the last couple of innings, retiring the side in order in the third and fourth. Meanwhile, the offense planning a run. It's a 2-1 contest as we are here in the bottom of the fifth. One more game today, and then, of course, how many ever games are played tomorrow? Well, not going to have any more than 2. Might have just one. That one slated for a 10 a.m. start. But again, Mama Nature could always play a role. There is the possibility of some precip. Taking a look at that iPhone weather app. I don't know why I quote this because it typically is wrong. But it says a 40% chance of rain at 3, 50 at 4, 60% at 5 and 6 a.m. Same thing for 7 and 8 and 9 a.m. And a 50% chance of rain at 10 a.m. according to the iPhone weather app. Pitch stays outside and the count goes 1 apiece on Hunter Sutton. Sutton tried to lay down the bunt in the second to get base runners over. Instead, it turned into a 1-5 putout that got Beatty at third. On the inside part of the plate, strike 2. Now, after that rain stops around 10 o'clock, this weather app says no more the rest of the day. Swing and a miss, and out goes Sutton. That is 8 in a row set down by Alan Wells. It's his third K in the contest, and we go back to the South Carolina top of the order as Ethan Struthers comes to the plate. One away for Struthers, who has walked, singled, and played a role in both runs scored. He scored the first one and drove in the second one. Inside with a pitch to Struthers. So I say all that about the possibility of rain to say this. You remember me mentioning Facebook? Put JockJive Sports in the search engine. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 1-2. Well, that's where we'll keep you updated. So the pertinent information you need in regards to weather, you'll get it. Hit over towards third. Childers bobbles, recovers over to first. Not in time. And that will likely be the first Tennessee error, and indeed it is. Pops up on the board as an 8. And Struthers will get on. Compliments of the mistake on the corner. One out, one on for Kyle Watkins. So go to Facebook, put JockJive Sports in the search engine. You can open up a brand new browser to do so. Don't have to close out the game coverage. Wells is shot over to first, and Struthers back safely. And we'll keep you updated on what Mama Nature has in store for tomorrow and see if it has any impact on play that's supposed to start at 10. Outside with the pitch, throw to first. Struthers back safely. 1-0 on Kyle Watkins. Watkins 0 for 2. He has popped out to first and ground into a double play. Josh Winningham is on deck. Runner takes off. Throw goes down. Strike the call. Toss winds up in center field. Retrieving is Taylor. On his way to third, and there safely is Struthers. So a stolen base for Struthers gets him to second. And we will see if a throwing error will be charged that got him to third. It was a strike, by the way, on Watkins. Well, no error scored on the scoreboard, so it is a steal. And no E added to the steal. Popped up on the infield at short. Colson steps onto the grass, makes the catch, and there's 2 away. The Best of Dixie hits and highlights provided by their organization is an excellent way to gain a greater understanding and appreciation of the entire program. World Series champions from the previous season are highlighted within the guide that includes complete series game coverage as well as the historical records of the organization that date back to the first Dixie Boys World Series in '63. Winning a Dixie World Series title provides lasting memories for players, coaches, parents, and a local community. 0-1 on Josh Winningham. 0 for 2 is Winningham. He struck out in the first, ground out to short in the third. Swings there, throw goes to third. Childers wasn't on third, though. And that could have been trouble, except Childers able to get over and make the catch on the toss from Perkins. Nothing in 2 on Winningham. Gabe Austin would be next. Here's the pitch. There's the swing. It is a lazy grounder that is retrieved at third by Childers, but he cannot get the throw over to first, and that will be credited as an infield base hit for Winningham that drives in Struthers and gives South Carolina a 2-run lead again. Boy, they just fluttered over towards third. Brings in the run. Winningham at first for Gabe Austin. This shout-out says a shout-out to my friend Josh Winningham. Josh is a popular feller. And yes, that's feller. In the South, we put R's on everything. If it was the North, it would be fellow. But we are here in the South, and we call fellows fellers, Orlando, Orlander, Chicago, Chicago. It's acceptable. And that popular guy is off the bag at first as the pitch is out of the strike zone to Gabe Austin. Austin with a walk and a fly out to second. He is 0 for 1. Caleb Watkins to the on-deck circle. Right now you've got one team unbeaten, everybody else that's still playing with a loss. This game eliminates one of 2 teams, Tennessee or South Carolina. And then your 9-cap, Monroe and Brooksville, Florida. If Monroe wins, they're in. Got to be beaten twice tomorrow. If Florida wins, then you go into a tiebreaker scenario. Big cut, no contact from Austin. Bottom of the 5th. A 3-1 South Carolina lead. Peyton Childers, Alan Wells, Brandon Degnegard coming to the plate for Tennessee when you get to the 6th. And we don't go a whole lot beyond 6. Game slated for 7. Unless, of course, it is knotted up after 7. And then we'll play whatever we have to play to get the game a victor. High and inside, 3-1 to Austin. Winningham at first. Struthers has scored. Struthers, again, playing a role in every run scored. He scored twice and drove in the other run. Count runs full as it's fouled out of play by Austin. Dixie Baseball's got their pre-majors World Series in Gunnersville. We're there, by the way, with the coverage on JockJive.com. Mike Flowers with the play-by-play. Then, of course, here. And then next week in Bluffton, South Carolina. I understand there is a local crew that will provide the coverage. Rip towards left field, initially in a few, and then backing off to make the catches. Will Clifton and Gabe Austin will go down with a fly out for out number 3. One base runner left on, but one comes in and scores, and South Carolina's lead is back to an advantage of 2. It's a 3-1 lead. We head to the 6th on JockJive.com. You're watching coverage of the 2017 Dixie Baseball Majors World Series.
Gunnersville for top of 7.
Coach Kenny Wilkinson likes to express his sincere appreciation to the many outstanding volunteers and alumni that support the North Charleston Dixie Majors program, Collins Park. North Charleston, South Carolina has now won 6 Dixie Majors World Series titles, allowing them to own the record for the most World Series championships. The pre-majors teams from North Charleston won the 2016 Pre-Majors World Series. North Charleston, South Carolina, title town for Dixie Baseball. Good luck to our teams in the 2017 Dixie Pre-Majors and Dixie Majors World Series. Peyton Childers leading off the top of the 6th for Tennessee. A 3-1 score. Certainly not a lead that is comfortable. Not one that at this point in the game where you're saying, this is in the bag. Not in the bag. Peyton Childers steps in. He's 0 for 2. Popped out to first. Ground out to the pitcher. Alan Wells, Brandon Degnegard due up in the inning 2. Opening pitch into the strike zone from Winningham. In towards White. He'll backhand it at second. Over to first with a throw. One away in the Tennessee 6th. By the way, the 7 o'clock game will start at 7. I don't think they will move up game time for the 7 o'clock game based on the brevity of this one. Alan Wells caught the corner, did Winningham. Wells reached on an error and singled. He is 1 for 2. Brandon Degnegard moving to the on-deck circle. By the way, the game archived at its conclusion. Go right back to the same spot where you watched the live coverage to get the archived version of the game. And better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And here's a swing and a miss, and Wells quickly out. 2 very quick outs here in the top of the 6th. But when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you've got access to everything that we do, and you've got alerts to the fact something is coming. All the youth sports, as this one is bounced into the dirt on YouTube. Everything that is really high school, 18 and under on YouTube, and then we have lots of channels for the other stuff that we do. Degnegard hits it over to first. It's scooped up there by Miller. He will step on the bag ahead of the arrival of Degnegard, and Tennessee goes 1-2-3 in the top of the 6th. Still a 3-1 contest. South Carolina has Watkins, Miller, and Beatty all coming to the plate. When we return, you are watching the 2017 Dixie Majors World Series on JockJive.com.
frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back. Her 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
The Louisiana-Dixie Majors Board, with Jason Parker as state director, takes this opportunity to thank the many leagues in Louisiana that played Dixie Majors baseball. We wish all our teams the very best. We're also proud of our state and the many communities that participate in Dixie baseball. This year we realized an increase of teams, making Louisiana-Dixie Majors by far the leader in team franchises for all of Dixie Majors baseball. It takes a team effort to accomplish goals, and we are grateful for the support we have received. Going to the bottom of the 6th, Caleb Watkins starting things off for North Charleston. Aaron Miller, Wilson Beatty due up in the inning 2. Oh, I like this text. I just got my hotel confirmation. That's a good text. I was thinking about sleeping out in the van tonight, but I see that I won't have to. But let me say thank you very much to Dixie Baseball. Seriously, they are great to work with. Sandy Jones, the commissioner here, Ronnie Jackson, all the guys in Dixie Baseball. And no, a hotel's not a problem. Anytime I'm covering their stuff, they got me a spot to stay. That is hit a long way, and it will go inside the brick wall. A cool area here, really on both sides of the diamond, but over in that area towards left field, there is a brick wall, and there are a line of grills, and there are a line of ice chests, and there are a line of picnic tables. So, obviously, it is fan-friendly. You go to the other side of the diamond, and you've got an area that it's got kind of a park feel to it. I see some grills sitting over there, too. So folks in Louisiana like to barbecue. 1-2 on Caleb Watkins. Aaron Miller, Wilson Beatty due up in the inning 2. Wrapped foul over to the left side. Watkins with a single in the first, a fly out to center field in the third. He is 1 for 2. Aaron Miller awaiting his opportunity next. Alan Wells, left-hander, got the start. Still on the mound in the 6th. And Winningham will likely be on the mound in the 7th for South Carolina. Two starting pitchers that have done an excellent job. Both have given up a total of 4 hits. So it has been an 8-hit game, period, both teams combined. Just a little bit inside. Count goes even, 2 apiece on Caleb Watkins. Two-two toss. Lofted towards center field, over to his right, Dustin Taylor. He will make the catch, and there's one away. One away for Aaron Miller. I would assume probably not too far from now the lights will come on. Maybe not in this one, but definitely by the time we get the 7 o'clock game underway. You see it's getting a little dark here at the Diamond, home of the Warhawks on Warhawk Way. Low and away to Aaron Miller. Miller 0 for 2 with a fly out behind the plate and to short. The DH Wilson Beatty moves to the on-deck circle. Popped up. It's behind the plate. Here comes Perkins. Will he have room? He will for out number 2. Second time that Miller has popped out behind the plate. Wilson Beatty has walked and popped out to right. He is 0 for 1. 1 hour, 35 minutes in, and in the bottom of the 6th. That is a fast-paced game. These days, when you have a baseball game 2 hours or less, that's quick. I mentioned we were doing the World Series in Oklahoma, the NJCAA Division II World Series. I think the shortest game, of course they went 9, granted, but I believe the shortest game went like 2:51 or 2:40-ish. A lot of long games in that one. Pop towards right by Beatty. Dagnagard a few steps over towards the foul line, reaches up, makes the catch, and it's a 3-up, 3-down, bottom of the 6th. We are through 6, going to the 7th. Tennessee knows the task. They're down by 2, got to have at least 2, want more when we return to Monroe, Louisiana.
Have a plumbing problem? Cypress Plumbing has your solution. We've been serving residential and commercial customers throughout Polk County for more than 25 years. Whether you need drain cleaning or leak repairs, water heater replacement, or backflow installation, our skilled plumbers can handle it all. We're experienced, professional, and best of all, we're affordable. For fast, friendly service when you need it, contact Cypress Plumbing today. 863-294-7319.
The Alabama-Dixie Majors Board, very proud of their state and the many communities that serve as a host site for the Dixie World Series. Guntersville, Alabama has previously hosted very successful World Series events. The board awarded the 2015, 16, and 17 Pre-Majors World Series to the city of Guntersville. We commend the city of Guntersville under the leadership of Lee Dollar, mayor, along with a very progressive city council. Special thanks to Tank Connerly, Parks and Recreation Director, his board, and his staff for an outstanding job with the event. Dixie Boys Baseball is grateful for the support we receive. Into the 7th we go. Carson Hopkins, Will Clifton, Dustin Taylor due up for Tennessee. That is the 8, 9, and 1 spots. Hopkins 1 for 2, a double and a pop out to center field. Let's get to a few more shout-outs. Big shout-out to all our parents and volunteers at Collins Park in North Charleston. You are the force behind our boys. Thanks for everything. Here we go. Josh, finish this, says the shout-out. Hopkins with a double in the 2nd, popped out to center field in the 4th. Will Clifton on deck. Hopkins got hit by the pitch. Tried to do a little dance to get out of the way. Could not. And that will bring the tying run to the plate with nobody out in the 7th. Clifton hit into the 1-3 and reached on an error. He scored the only Tennessee run on a Jacob Perkins sac fly to left field in the 5th. Here's the Winningham pitch to Clifton. Drops it right down the middle. More shout-outs. Collins Park, best volunteers around. Go Chucktown. Hopkins with his lead over at first. Clifton with an 0-1 count. Tex says, watch the wheels on Hopkins at first. All right, we'll pay attention to the guy on first, as that one is out of the strike zone and the count evens at 1. One more game to go on your Tuesday of coverage, then back tomorrow morning, hopefully at 10 for the championship. Lifted into foul territory, 1 and 2. I mentioned the gorgeous facility here, the new football field which I'm certain has elevators. The baseball field, I think everybody has put in coach at the University of Louisiana Monroe as well, that eventually get one. Swing and a miss by Clifton. Got a few steps to travel to get here to the box. Dustin Taylor coming to the plate with one away and one aboard. Taylor making his fourth plate appearance. He is 1 for 3 into the strike zone from Winningham. Jacob Perkins to the on-deck circle. Hopkins still over at first. Out of the zone to even the count at 1. Probably have not seen Hopkins go. Just trying not to chance the possibility of an out. Got a big lead over at first, being held on by Aaron Miller. Fouled away, 1-2. One ball, couple of strikes. We are right at an hour 24 away from the 7 o'clock matchup. Fouled off again. Monroe, the only unbeaten team in the World Series, taking on Brooksville, Florida. And I would think whoever wins this game would like for Florida to beat Monroe. That way you've got everybody with a loss. And there's the possibility you only play one game. That one popped into left field. And a couple of base runners on for Tennessee. That is the 5th Tennessee base hit of the game. And a couple of base runners are on for Jacob Perkins. And now that tying run has gotten aboard. Tennessee has had simultaneous runners before. Had them in the 2nd, had them in the 4th. And now in the 5th. You would think that Josh Winningham has got to get Perkins. If Perkins gets on, we might see somebody come in. There is now activity in the South Carolina pen, as a matter of fact. 1-0 to Perkins, who has ground out to third, struck out, and he has produced the only run of the game for Tennessee, a sac fly to left field. As the count goes even at 1. A ball, a strike, and out. Couple of base runners on, 2-run South Carolina lead. They have led throughout. But Tennessee obviously has kept it close. Cut the lead in half at one point. That happened in the 5th. Bottom part of the 5th, South Carolina again cushioned the lead to 2. Winningham looking back the runner at 2nd. That is Carson Hopkins. One out here in the 7th. On the inside part of the plate, 1-2. Casey Colson has moved to the on-deck circle. South Carolina hoping there is no bottom of the 7th, but if there is, it will start with the 8th spot, John Thielen. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and it was in the dirt when it was swung on, so it goes back to the screen. But first was occupied. So there's no opportunity for Perkins to go to first. Only time you can go to first with first occupied is when the bases are loaded. And I believe there has to be a couple of outs as well. So rare circumstances, and that wasn't one of them as Perkins strikes out for out number 2. Base runners advance, though, and they are now both in scoring position. And Casey Colson is asked to deliver with something that will bring in at least one, maybe both. He's already had a base hit that happened in the first, and it was off Winningham, the first Tennessee hit off the South Carolina pitcher. Struthers scoops up from third over to first, gets the out of Colson on the 5-3 put out, and this ball game is over. It is a South Carolina victory over Tennessee. South Carolina will advance to Wednesday's play. The season and the series has come to an end for the team from McNairy, Tennessee. Obviously, both squads, you get here, you've done something. You get to the next to the last day of the World Series, and it's been a sensational series. But it will continue for North Charleston. It will end on a Tuesday at ULM for Tennessee. Thanks so much for watching our coverage. Great to have you on the other end. Thanks for the text shout-outs. Don't forget about Facebook. JockJive Sports. Put that in the search engine. Like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well if you would like. That does it for me. I will see you at 7 o'clock when Monroe takes on Brooksville, Florida. Robert Williamson saying so long for all of us and for Dixie Baseball.